Return of the Jedi is an arcade game released by Atari back in 1984. And although it may look dated to some modern gamers, it's actually an enjoyable, if somewhat flawed, game. So anyway, let's get into it. Return of the Jedi for the arcade. The raster graphics in this game look quite sharp, and they do an excellent job portraying the movie's universe. However, the scale of certain objects is a little bit off. For example, Chewbacca and the AT-ST walker. Christ, he looks almost as big as the fucking machine! And the trees do look rather small when compared to the speeder bikes. On the other hand, the Ewoks do have a good scale in relation to the environment, but they do look really fucking odd. Almost like demonic teddy bears. Still, despite these minor issues, the graphics are quite impressive for an 80s arcade game. My only major complaint about the graphics concerns the perspective. The game has a 3/4 view similar to the arcade game Zaxxon, and this view can make it hard to see certain objects ahead of you. The background rushes by so fast that you can easily slam into an object that you can barely see. An overhead perspective might have worked better in this case, particularly in the Death Star level. As for the controls, they're very basic. You can move the vehicles left, right, up, and down, and attack with the fire buttons. I did find the controls to be rather sensitive. Like you press right and go, wait, right! Other than that issue, though, they're not hard to get used to. There are only 3 levels in the game, and all the gameplay is based on vehicular combat. One level is a speeder bike chase on Endor. The second is the Millennium Falcon attacking the Death Star generator. And the third has 2 parts. Chewie approaching the shield generator bunker in an AT-ST walker, and an outer space battle over Endor. When you begin the game, you can select the difficulty. Easy, medium, and hard. And there's a nice little touch of the Death Star going over each difficulty. You get no points for easy, 300,000 for medium, and 600,000 for hard. But be warned, medium and hard are very difficult. And even easy ain't a walk in the park. Every difficulty begins with a speeder bike level. You play as Leia and you have to fight stormtroopers on speeder bikes. Also, you have to avoid trees and other obstacles. Ewoks will help you with log and rope traps that can destroy your enemies. And you can also destroy the stormtroopers with your bike's blaster. Or you can slam them into the trees. If you make it to the Ewok village, you win. One problem with this level, though, is dodging trees. The perspective can make it difficult to tell if you're flying into one or not. Sometimes it looks like you'll miss a tree, but you end up hitting it anyway. Again, an overhead perspective might have worked better. After you beat the first level, you switch to Lando and the Falcon. Here you have to dodge walls and avoid or destroy TIE fighters until you reach the reactor. When you get there, you have to destroy it with your weapons. If you fail to do so, you hit a wall and skip to the next level. And in the process, you lose a life. But if you succeed, you have to turn around and escape a wall of fire. During this part, if you crash into a wall, you lose a life and skip to the next level. Succeed, however, and you get a nice shot of the Death Star exploding. Plus you get a bonus. Then you go to a harder speeder bike level. The second level is my favorite of the game because it's more complex than the first. You have to reach the target and escape, which in my opinion makes it more exciting than the first level. It's also fun to dodge walls and blast TIE fighters. My only problem with the level is again the perspective. It's especially annoying when you have to escape because you have to head downwards and remember where the walls were. And the background is moving so fast that you won't see one until it's too late. Though you can get around this by not shooting the reactor until the last second. That'll delay your turnaround and give you more room to see. The AT-ST walker is in the 3rd level. Here you have to blast or dodge logs and enemy walkers. In addition, you have to dodge log piles and rocks. I have to admit, this level is my least favorite. It's not terrible, but blasting and dodging logs is really not my idea of a fun time. Plus, you don't get to fight that many enemy walkers. Furthermore, why are the Ewoks attacking me with logs? I'm on their side, remember? I wish the Empire would blow their furry fucking asses right out of the goddamn woods. Even worse, the battle sometimes switches between Endor and an outer space dogfight, and it happens so fast that it's very jarring. The sudden switch back and forth can make things very confusing, and you can be killed very easily because of it. In my opinion, this does not work at all. They should have either made a separate level or ditched the dogfight altogether. The medium and hard level speeder bike chases are extremely tough. They have Ewoks and gliders flying over and dropping rocks on the ground. Why do they keep on attacking me? I'm on their side! Fuck Ewoks sideways. They're a bunch of furry fucking cunts. Another big obstacle are these logs that you can fly through. Their clearance space is so small that it's really easy to crash into them. Though admittedly, it is fun when you make it through. One of the most frustrating aspects of the game is that you only get 3 lives to start and no continues. And when you lose all your lives, you have to start all over again! What a fucking ball buster! But then again, that's par for the course with early arcade games. You can't get extra lives if you manage to reach a certain number of points, but I never managed to do it. Like many early arcade games, the gameplay is rather repetitive. The 3 levels repeat constantly, so it can get wearying after a while. The only change is that the difficulty increases. But then again, that's commonplace for games of this era. And if you know that going in, then you won't be quite so disappointed when you lose. The game's main music is a decent rendition of the Star Wars theme. Here, listen.
Wonderful. We are now upon the time.
Not too shabby for an 80s arcade game. Along with the music, the game has digitized voice samples directly from the film. And for the time period, that's pretty amazing. Here, listen.
Go for help. I see them. Wait for me. Here goes nothing. Now lock onto the strongest power source. It should be the power generator. On, hurry. The fleet will be here any moment.
They do sound a bit off, though. Especially Darth Vader.
Security deflector shield will be deactivated when we have confirmation of your code transmission. Leave them to me. I will deal with them myself.
He sounds like Darth Vagina. I think Lando sounds the best. It's pretty close to the movie. All things considered, this game does have its fair share of problems. But despite them, it still manages to deliver a fun time. So in conclusion, if you like Star Wars games, this'll be right up your alley. And I definitely recommend playing it if you get a chance. This is Film and Stuff signing off. Thanks for watching. He sounds like Darth Vagina.